Welcome to another IJDM. Taking a look at some retro tech that's often overlooked. I don't see too many videos, maybe on the Apple mice, but not necessarily on the PC-based retro mice. So we're just going to take a look at three that I have that have came with various computers and that I've had over the years, and kind of compare the three and see which one is which. The first one we're going to look at is this one. This is the Compaq M-S28. It is a ball mouse. Yes, and then you can just take this handy dandy little cover off and clean the ball area if you have to. And it is a ball mice. They didn't have the later improved laser tech until later on, so you dealt with this back then, and yes, you had to clean them, otherwise it didn't work. Most people usually just tossed them away and bought a new one, which I thought was kind of funny because they weren't necessarily cheap. But I'm gonna say this one, looking at this Compaq, it feels cheap. I don't know if it's just the plastic didn't age well. I have it hooked up, and let's just try it on something here. We're just gonna take this and go like that, and we're just gonna tip the screen. Oh, the glare. Problem with doing things during the daytime. Good times. So I'll go into, what am I doing wrong? Oh, get used to one keyboard and I switch back to this one, and it's just a little different than the other laptop I've been using, which is my Toshiba, and I do have the Compaq as well, but today we're just using the IBM, and it's on battery power right now. We'll see how long this lasts throughout this video. Well, let's just go into a little Duke Nukem 3D. We'll just use the regular one, and I think it is just Duke 3D. Start this, and we'll see if the mouse recognizes right away. Let's kind of move that closer so you can kind of see the screen. I've still not worked out the details on getting these screen things correct. And there is audio, it's just I got it turned down for obvious reasons. And let's see. Yes, and during the daytime you will hear my doves doing their cooing thing all day long, but it's something you kind of tune out after having them a while. And there we go. Okay. Well, am I in the demo mode here, or what's going on? Oh, there we go. New game. I must have hit something when I was... We're just going to go piece of cake, because I'm just going to do the first part of the game, and then obviously I'm going to have to reset each time. So, okay, there we go. And pretty good scroll consistency. And, oh, God, this button just feels... Oh, this is just... Can you hear that? Oh my God, this, you know what, I'm just going to end the review on this mouse right now. I'll just say, I think this is just one that was included with Compaq stuff, and it is really a cheap mouse. And to all my Compaq fans out there, sorry, this thing just, oh man, I am going to unplug this and throw this back into the pile of my, because I don't think I could even give that one away. So that's it for that one. Let's move on to another one, which is the IBM. Feels a little better already just by holding it in my hands, and I have had to take it apart when I reconditioned it, but this is the model 33G5430, and yeah, it's kind of like a modern mouse, I guess. I mean, just looking at, you know, one of my current ones, it's wireless, but this is... Seems like it's built a little better, and let's plug it in. If I can find the port without having to walk back there. And I'm not sure if this is going to work, but okay, there we go. All right, so this did work. I could switch over. Now, this one doesn't feel like the travel is as good as the other one that I just tried. Oh, but hear that button click? It is just, that is like an IBM thing. That just feels good. How do I move forward? Let's shoot at these cylinders here. Yeah, this is a fairly satisfying mouse, and it's not squeaky at all. The buttons have that nice click to it, and overall, yeah, and you can clean it the same way as the other one. I mean, they're all the same. I'm not going to bother showing the inner workings. There's basically two little wheels, or three, I forget. I think there's two for each direction, X and Y. But yeah, I could recommend this mouse. And yes, they are doing construction on the house in behind me, which is why I have not been making so many videos lately, because it's going on all day, every day, pretty much from 7 a.m. until like 6 p.m. at night. So that's that mouse in a nutshell right there. And we're back once again. Let's exit out of this game. Now I'm going to go to this next mouse, and we'll go ahead and plug this one in. And yeah, they're still working on the house in behind me, but I've closed my windows and doors because they're going to be drilling all day long, which always makes for a fun day. So this is kind of an iconic mouse, and very iconic looking, because it just has symmetry, and it is just square and boxy. And you know what? I love it for that. This is the Logitech Model C7. And there's another number in there. Is it faded or not? 3F-9F. This came in a few different forms. There was a bus mouse, which required a special card that you put in your computer, I believe, on most computers. And then there was a serial model. So this is actually the serial mouse, which only certain Logitech drivers will work with it, interestingly enough. So what I'm going to have to do is just reset the computer. And I got to say, of the three of them I've shown, this one is like, this thing's a brick. It's not heavy or anything. It's got a good weight, but the plastic, everything on it just feels solid. And a lot of you are going to be thinking, well, how is this, as far as comfort goes, to the ergonomics of this? Well, to be honest with you, it is totally fine. It almost makes you wonder why some of these mice just have these curvatures to them when some of them aren't really needed. Unless you're sending this through a wind tunnel, I don't fully get it. Somebody could probably explain that to me, but let's go in and see if we can get this mouse driver working on the first try. And I believe you have to go mouse 01. And let's see if it recognizes right off. 01 found. Bam, it's there. So let's get back into good old Duke Nukem and not make this video any longer than it needs to be. And it was Duke 3D. The only thing I didn't do, which I found on this mouse, it does run a little slow, is there is a command to speed it up. But for time's sake, I'm just going to go ahead and just get right into the review of this one. The first thing also, well, I shouldn't say the first thing. Well, this will be the first thing I said, is I kind of like it. But going into the second or third thing is, you'll notice it has 3 buttons. That actually is very cool for stuff like Duke Nukem. Yeah, it doesn't have the scroll wheel, which some people would prefer, which most mice were replaced with the scroll wheel later on. And just a comparison between two Logitechs of yesterday and more or less today, but that's a huge difference. And it is just, this is a M-185. It's a smaller type form factor mouse, but I just got a deal on these, so I got a few of them for various uses that I use them for. You can see the buttons right, left, and then they omitted, but this still can be used as a center button, I believe. Not that I use it that much in Windows type environments, but let's give this one a try here and go into new game, and just, it doesn't really matter because I'm not gonna play the game per se, but okay, yeah. Well, it's scrolling pretty good. I didn't even put it in fast mode, but yeah, it's working pretty good. And let's try this button out. Oh yeah, that's a satisfying click right there. In fact, you can tell this button was used a little bit more in its day, because the clicks on the other two are just a little better as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know what the other two do on this game. I haven't programmed anything on this actual mouse. I did recondition it and retrobrighted it, but as I pulled it out of storage a little while ago, and I gotta say, I think I like the old Logitech logo better than the new one. I did pull this out of storage yesterday and noticed it has actually started yellowing again, and this thing was yellow as heck, but you know what, it's fine for now. I can actually see the difference right here, so maybe I'll pop this in the sun for a little bit and maybe let it kind of whiten up a little bit. It's almost like some of the stains and stuff are coming back on it. It's kind of weird. I'd like to have a pristine one of these once again. I did have a brand new one years ago, and I have no idea what I did with it. Just one of those things that disappears, I guess. But yeah, this C7, and I'm going to say, I wish, and if anybody knows that, if there's anybody that's actually attempted it, and I do know they made Logitech actually made a funny video about this mouse, about bringing it back, and it had some kind of weird, like, Inspector Gadget type functions, like you could throw it and it'd come back to you or something like that. I'm sure if you search, I won't put it on for copyright's sake, but I'm sure if you search around and you'll find it's a funny little kind of April Fool's type commercial that Logitech did years ago. But this would be cool if there was a way to make this a wireless. I don't know if there's a way you can modify the technology and make it into a wireless. I don't see why not. Maybe just replace some of the housing and replace it with the laser and do all that. But even then, I mean, you're kind of limited to this whole serial port thing. I've tried adapters and trying to work on PS2 environments, but it just doesn't want to play that way. And maybe it's something I'm doing wrong, but if you have any comments on this particular mouse, be sure to let me know. And with that, oh god, this thing, I'm sorry, Compaq owners, this is just awful. Ugh, I don't know what to do with that thing. Anyways, that's it for now. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.